G'day everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having an awesome day. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure you check out our review of the Tops parrot pellets where I sort of give it a bit of a breakdown and share my thoughts on it. Today I am going to show you some cool ideas on introducing the Tops parrot pellets to your birds using some of the Forage Gourmet birdseed blends and then also some foraging toys as well. If you're not sure about the Forage Gourmet birdseed blend, now I have done a review on this in the past. I'll also drop a link in the description as well. I've had a few people asking me, Tim, I bought the Tops pellets and my birds don't like them. Well, I definitely wouldn't suggest maybe just offering them in a bowl like this. It's not overly appealing to birds, but first I'm going to show you how you can add it to your existing diet using a seed blend. Now, if you are using a seed blend as a base for your bird's food, I highly recommend going out and getting a really good quality one, just like this forage here. Now, forage is absolutely jam-packed with some really awesome stuff. It is, in terms of seed blends, I definitely put it up there as a premium one. Now, of course, I do use forage in our foraging trays and some of our foraging toys as well. You would have seen that in previous videos. And I really like it, and my birds really love it. The seed blend we're going to use today is the Forage Small Parrot, and look at it in the window, doesn't it look great? Now we're going to pop it into the bowl and then mix in some pellets. Now look at how luscious that looks. There is so many ingredients in this mix. In terms of quality, it is so fresh. And of course it is 100% Australian. Now, if you haven't tried forage before, I highly recommend giving it a go, especially if your birds are on a staple diet of seed. In terms of seed blends, it is definitely one of the best. Now to this mix, we of course are going to add some of our Tops parrot pellets. Now, this is actually the all-size pellets. And as well, I'm going to add some of the small pellets as well, and we're going to give it a bit of a mix up. How luscious does that look? It actually smells really good as well. I'm so excited about this. Now, what I would suggest is over a few days, just keep adding some more Tops parrot pellets. So what that's going to do is just slowly introduce more and more pellets, and eventually they're going to start wanting to eat them and try them. So you could definitely use this as your bird's staple diet if they're on a staple of seed. Now, if they are on a staple of pellet, use your existing pellet instead of using the seed. But the way I love to use this is using it in some foraging toys, in our no bowl feeders, and of course, our foraging trays. Let's make one. The staple in any of my foraging trays is of course this. I think it was $2.50 or $3 brand new cat litter tray. They're really easy to clean. You can fit a lot of cockatiels in there, as you would have seen from some of my previous videos. Now, if you know me, I definitely couldn't make a foraging tray without using one of these seagrass doormats. I will drop a link in the description to some of the videos that I have done on these. But these are awesome. I'm going to cut it to the shape of the bottom of the cat litter tray, and then we're going to start adding some cool stuff. Alright, so first let's add some of our forage and Tops parrot pellets mix that we've made up. Now, I always put this in first because I want it to sink to the bottom, so the birds really have to try to get through everything to get the seeds and stuff at the bottom. I find that works best to really encourage them to want to start foraging. With the offcuts from this seagrass mat, I always cut up strips like this, and then I usually cut them down to a little bit smaller pieces. It just makes it a little bit more interesting for them. Now you can cut shapes, squares, triangles, whatever you like. Let's cut some out. Now, there's no wrong way to make a foraging tray. I just chuck it in and they love it. So I am going to add some other stuff as well. Now, I have some naturally dyed paddle pop sticks, which I'm going to pop in there. I have some pre-cracked walnuts because the birds really love those, and then some almonds as well. We're going to chuck all that in. I don't really put it in any special way. I just find if I chuck it in, the birds love it. But I'm also going to add some of our chop topper. Now, this is what I normally add onto our birds' sprout and fruit and vegetable mix in the morning. So a little bit of that in there as well. Now, this has organic coconut flakes in it, some hulled sunflower, What else is in there? Some whole hemp, which is really good for birds. Some pepitas, some linseed, and probably a few other things as well. Maybe some chai, I can't really quite remember, but that looks fantastic. Now, I also need to add some pieces of bark. I actually didn't have to go far to find this bark. I actually have a stash in the back of the bird room, but I usually just break it up. And the birds really love chewing on it. Now this is already being baked and it's all ready to go. The birds love the texture. They love destroying it. That's the most interesting thing. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get them to encourage them to chew things and forage. I also have some of these palm sticks, palm seed pod sticks. I still haven't worked out what they are actually called, but I'm going to break some of them up and pop them in there as well, and then also some rolled up coloured paper. Now, inside the coloured paper, you can also put some of the Tops pellets, which I'm going to do. Now, how great does this look? I think our birds are gonna really, really like it. Now, it looks like we've got our first customers coming down to have a look and check it out and start foraging. Now, these foraging trays are so easy to make and they're really, really cheap as well. And it's a really great way to introduce Tops to your birds. Now, over the next few days, I'm gonna be popping up a few more videos on introducing Tops to your birds. You're gonna come down and play? But until then, have a good one.